No, cool, cool.
My next guest is Kevo. Kevo is a tattoo artist and university instructor from Houston, Texas, who holds a Master of Fine Arts degree. His art ranges from painting to theater production, highlighting racial dynamics and human experiences. He's a director of a nonprofit for arts, Kevo Arts Studios, and has 10 years of experience as the owner of a successful tattoo studio. Additionally, he has background in stage plays and filmmaking and has written and published several books. His story was even featured on Fox 26 News in a segment called From Inmate to Entrepreneurship, highlighting the journey from incarceration to business artistry. Kevo was proclaimed his own date from the mayor of Houston, Kevo Day, April 6th, where he's honored for his value to the Houston community. Kevo represents change, inspiration, and art. As a Black man from inner city neighborhood that was raised without real parents, to become a renowned fine art artist is a big deal. From his youth, Kevo was shot, sent to jail, and had a history of drug dealing and violence. Kevo changed his life and became one of the most accomplished artists his city has ever seen. Welcome to the podcast, Kevo.
Thank you. Welcome. Welcome to myself. Thank you. That's it's crazy to hear that out loud sometimes.
Yeah. Well, we'll dive right into that trench story. A time that you were in the trenches and managed to crawl out.
Yeah, as you noted, it's actually something I don't even like talking about because I feel like, I'm so creative and I'm such a working artist that it's hard to even think back to that. But it's okay. I wasn't raised with my real parents. But my mom's sister actually raised me, so I didn't grow up with a mother and father like that household. When I was younger, after high school, I was in and out of jail a lot. I was shot, stabbed, and I went to jail for a aggravated robbery. And the charges got dropped after 9 months of me being in jail to just an assault. And when I got out, I actually started tattooing and being more serious about art. And I ended up, getting my degrees and being an established tattoo artist. And here I am today.
Yeah. And I think, that kind of led to you becoming an art professor. So you reached out to me because you are actually teaching a tattoo class in Houston.
Yeah.
So what is a class called? And
It's a drawing class. So the
okay.
thing is, it's at a college level.
Okay.
So I teach drawing. I'm an art professor. I teach art history, art appreciation, drawing, painting, you name it. But in my drawing course, I've incorporated tattoos because I feel like it has value academically, and I don't think that people have caught up to that yet. I think that I am the first at a college level actually teaching it, and I feel like people look at it as a vocation when it's actually a career. So me teaching it, I think, is a very big deal. I think it's a very big deal.
Do you feel like there's more people going into becoming tattoo artists maybe in the last 15 years than
I think
previously?
I think it's become easily accessible, and I feel like when I was younger, it was something that thugs or the lower life or the bike riders or the jail people did. People from jail, it was something that people that lived in harsher realities did. As a way to express themselves, as a way to just feel some pain, or as a way to appear tough. Because a lot of people did that to make themselves look tough. They'll go to get a tattoo, and I think now the focus is more on people just want them. They think they look cool. I think they just look so cool that people want them. So I think that's inclined more people to say, if you can do it, I can do it. And they don't realize how hard it is. But it's helped a lot of artists find ways to make money from art.
So since you have taught drawing, painting, and now tattoo artistry, how would you define art in the broader sense?
It's just art is just you creating something that you want to express. Because I am art is my life. So I'm a person who just is art everything. So art can be dance, art can be theater, art can be movies, art can be drawing, painting, poetry, writing. It's so many ways to express your creativity, architecture.
Mhm.
So on a broader scale, that's just the best way to describe it. I'll say that in my opinion, I believe that aside from how good you are at your art, since art is so subjective,
Yeah.
I believe that the most important thing is for the artist to be interesting. I
Yeah.
think that's what separates artists.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And so if people are expressing themselves through painting or via tattoos, how can they make things more interesting in terms of like exploring other modalities, maybe other styles? I know artists probably evolve over time. How does
Yeah, I was going to say that. I think they evolve, but in turn, so again, it's really subjective. So I think they just have to be true to themselves. And
Yeah.
I think when you are yourself, you're just interested in your own right.
Okay.
Because I remember being in school when I was getting my master's. I remember thinking that there was a girl in one of my studios. Her name is Patricia. I don't want to
Hmm.
butcher her last name because she was Polish,
Hmm.
but her and I made completely different work when you looked at it. But
Hmm.
the content of the work was very similar.
Okay.
So she would do these ceramic, almost abstractions, porcelain, just all white, different objects. And I would do these elaborate paintings, that have your head doing like this because
Yeah.
there's so much going on. And my painting would be backed by some political or social disparity or
Hmm.
something going on, racial dynamics and some social injustice. And then her ceramic piece would be about history of feminist abuse or something like that. And it
Hmm.
was just so cool to me how I would call her my favorite artist, and I realized that that's interesting to me. That's why. You get what I mean? To answer
Hmm.
the question, like, you be yourself and then people are interested in you that are interested in those things.
Hmm. Yeah, which, as you said, somebody that could have completely different art than you, but like, that helps you learn more about what they're interested,
Yeah.
their passions
And
are.
you get to know yourself over time because it's crazy how it works. Like if I talked about my favorite artist or my favorite painting by certain people, like
Yeah.
my favorite Picasso is this piece called Guernica. And
Uh-huh.
that's no coincidence that Guernica is about a war crime. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Hmm.
So you are who you are is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. So, since you teach tattooing, how would you say that's different than painting for people who are familiar with the modality of painting, but maybe
It's
want
it's
to
just a
try out?
different medium. I
Yeah.
think I think that's a question that that a person who is not an artist thinks is a big deal, but it's not. It's
Yeah.
just a different medium because like drawing is different than painting.
Yeah.
Um, doing sculptures are different than ceramics, and
Hmm.
architecture is different than making a movie. It's literally just a different medium. It's not. You can't. Being good at one doesn't make you good at the other.
Yeah.
Being great at one doesn't make you great at the other. So I know some
Yeah.
people who cannot draw and they can tattoo better than me. And they cannot draw. And it's crazy. It's just a
Uh-huh.
different medium. Yeah.
So would you say there are people that maybe try out being a tattoo artist and maybe they're better at the other medium?
Yeah,
Can one
definitely. That
fail
can
as a
happen.
tattoo artist?
You have to give it a shot because
Yeah.
if you're naturally inclined to something, you might be a little good at it. So if you're better at it, it'll be easier to grow.
Okay.
But some people just don't, either you have it or you don't. And that's tough for me because I'm an artist, so I'm not. One thing about teaching, it exposed me to understanding that, everybody can't draw, you know what I mean? Even
Sure.
somebody who can draw, you know what I mean, on my level. So it's tough for me to just I, I have to be realistically motivating when it comes to art. I can't have expectations that somebody is capable of what I'm capable of. You
Hmm.
know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mentioned in the bio that you have written stage plays and movies, and now you said that there is a stage play coming out on Christmas Eve in Houston. Talk to me a little bit
Yeah.
about that.
That's going to be a big deal. This stage play there's nothing like it. It's crazy. It's called Vincent. It's about the life of Van Gogh, actually. This hoodie is for. It's about the life of Van Gogh as an artist. That's all
Hmm.
it's about. It's a art appreciation play. it's designed for people to think highly of art and of this artist. And I believe that Vincent van Gogh is one of the greatest artists ever. He's inspired my work, and I think that people should know about this artist. I believe that the difference between understanding artists and understanding other celebrities is that the artist information is not as accessible. Like, you really don't find facts. So you don't randomly hear the news about a Picasso or something. So I think that if you go back with what I told you earlier about being interesting, I believe that Vincent van Gogh is the most interesting artist ever. And I want to show that to people, and I want to educate people about that. And at the same time, I want to, honor and appreciate him and give off a hell of a performance, because we have a remarkable story for everybody who comes.
Yeah. So you also mentioned that you have a diverse cast and that most of them are from Amsterdam.
No. I'm sorry. So maybe my words got misconstrued.
Okay.
Vincent is actually from Amsterdam.
Yes.
They're Dutch. Like the real people, the people that are playing these characters are American. So that's what I mean by diversity.
Okay.
I'm playing Van Gogh. I'm an African
Okay.
American.
Yeah.
I'm not
Okay.
Dutch. I'm not from the Netherlands.
Okay.
We have from different ages, races, ethnicities, genders.
Yeah.
We have all that. It's a very, very diverse cast. That's the one thing I love about art, is that, like, there's a no judgment zone, and you can be and you can be one. It's not black or white. It's not lesbian, straight. It's like, we're artists, and we all can respect that, and we can just work together. And I've never had an issue. I've never had that issue of hating people based on who they are, because I've always been in art my whole life.
And what are the dates that play is showing, and where will that be showing in Houston?
Well, we're filming it, so it's only showing one day.
Okay.
We're filming it on Christmas Eve. So if anybody wants to come out, they have to come see it on Christmas Eve to see the world premiere. And after that, it'll be on streaming services.
Okay. And do you know yet what streaming services?
No, not yet. Not
Okay.
yet. It's a process. So for now, I'm holding off on that. I don't want to make any promises.
Sure.
But I can't wait.
Okay, well, I'll check back in with you before this is published. Well, talk to me a little bit about how you show some social injustices in your art, in general, like when you're expressing maybe things that are happening in current events, and how, like, maybe you'll help people that are your students.
I have a twofold answer to that.
Okay.
One would be, with this Vincent van Gogh play, I'm recreating a lot of Vincent van Gogh artwork. So I have to paint maybe 20 paintings. I have to do all his drawing, because I can't use his artwork, So with my talent and my capability, a lot of people can't do that, but I can. I also have to paint a Van Gogh live. So I'm going to be painting on the stage, right? That said, if I was not doing this Van Gogh painting, I know for sure I would be painting about what's going on with Hamas and what's going on in Israel. And that's what I mean about social injustice. So I've painted a piece called What's Free. I've painted a piece, it's on my website. I painted a piece called Time Consumer. I've written a movie, a short film that rhymes, called 27 Grams. It's on YouTube. I've written one of my scripts is actually on Amazon. It has a lot of good reviews too. It's like plunged with social injustice towards African Americans, and it's titled "What Do We Do Now?" And people love that script. It's a great read, because it's like a timeline. So the time does not really make sense, but I put you through a timeline of what African Americans have dealt with in modern society, and I based it in 1965. So they're in 1965, but they're going through stuff that happened in the 90s. And so that's really how I work. If I really believe, if I wasn't painting so many Van Goghs right now, I would be trying to create something about what's going on with Israel and the Palestinians and Hamas right now.
So like when this play is complete, are you planning on kind of shifting gears then? Do you have any
It depends
plans?
on how I feel. It
Yeah.
depends on how I feel. It's just a passion thing.
Yeah.
Um, it depends on how I feel. I'm very true to myself, so I don't fake stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So however it comes out is how it comes out.
Sure, sure, sure. So I'm sure there's a lot of artists who may have recently finished school and are looking for ways to, sell their art, become famous, or, at least,
Yeah.
get a following on Instagram, things like that. So talk to me a little bit about entrepreneurship and how you've built your business.
Well, that's that's tough because in terms of social media, I honestly think people just follow me. I don't know where it
Yeah.
comes from sometimes. So it's
Hmm.
hard to give advice on that because I'm not really serious about it. I honestly just do what I do, and whatever happens, happens. So I really don't focus on that. And
Yeah.
honestly, I feel like I should focus on it more.
Hmm.
So it would be I would be lying if I tried to advise somebody on how to get more following
Okay.
or grow your business because I'm just doing me. I'm doing Kevo, and
Yeah.
whatever I want to do creatively, I just try to do it. And I
Sure.
failed a lot. I'll say that I failed so much um, in my creative endeavors that I wouldn't have an answer other than to keep trying things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Keep
and
trying,
it's
putting it
crazy
out
because
there.
it's crazy because this keeps getting my attention. This is sitting right here. These are DVDs of I don't know if you can see them of
Uh-huh. Yeah, Tyler Perry.
yeah, and they just sitting here a whole collection. I forgot I had this.
Well, it's just like Tyler Perry, right? Keep trying,
Yeah,
putting
that's
out
why I said that.
material.
That's crazy. It keeps getting my attention. I keep
Yeah, no,
looking
but
at it.
that's a good
Hmm.
example, right? Because he put out
Yeah,
material and people watched it,
yeah,
and now he's got this huge business and he's helping others. So yeah, I think a lot of the time it happens sometimes on its own, like you said, for the entrepreneurship in the following. Um,
yeah.
is there anything else you'd like to add about just things that you have experienced in terms of um, your growth through art, or helping people that you've taught?
Um, the first thing that comes to my mind is that I think I'm in a space that mentally is that I found myself a long time ago, and I
Yeah.
think that I'm in a space of refinding myself,
Okay.
and I've realized that I really don't care about much except art and family. And,
Sure.
and, and when I say family, friends are included.
Sure.
And I'm sharing this with you because you asked, so I'm just being personal. I really feel like I'm in a space that I kind of don't care about anything,
Yeah.
and in a good way.
Sure.
I'm almost not like what goes on in the world because I did mention that, but in a way that I described this to someone else I was talking to. Like, if I had a choice to go out to dinner with a friend or my girl or a family member,
Hmm.
or go out with like a famous person like a Kardashian, like
Hmm.
I'm in a space mentally where I would just be with my friends. I would just hang
Yeah.
out with my family. I would just hang out with my girl. And I really don't care about anything else except art. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I think that I don't know, for better or for worse, I have no idea how that will help somebody, but I love this space that I'm in. So
Yeah.
if somebody's out there and they're super worried about, what they think will make them happy, I think that I have a very simple, happy life. And
Yeah.
I think that you shouldn't overcomplicate happiness.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's good advice for those who are looking to, be entrepreneurs, get their work out there, but don't overcomplicate it, like you said.
Yeah.
Out of everything we've talked about today about your background, tattoo teaching, artistry, and the play, what's one thing you'd like listeners to remember, or what's a quote that you live by?
That's a really good question. This is gonna sound crazy. I love this quote. Um, Tupac said, Vincent Van Gogh was also Tupac's favorite artist. I want to
Okay.
note that. He said he's seen too many real players ball to let a punk buster beat me.
Okay.
And I think about this quote a lot because it really means that I don't want to lose to somebody who doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
That is what that quote really means.
Yeah.
As even though it's harmonized in ebonics, even though it's like culture,
Mhm.
even though it's hip hop, I've seen too many real players ball to let a punk buster beat me. That quote really means a lot to me.
Mhm.
I just had to be honest. Like I really had to think about it. And that's the quote I thought about.
No, I think that's
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's great, and an influence, right?
Hmm.
Where can people find you online? I know you have a lot of places that you're on social media. Where would you say you're the most
I
active?
mean, I, I'm pretty easy to find. Everything either says Kevo or Kevo Arts. So my Instagram and my Facebook is Kevo Arts.
Okay.
Kevo, like Kevin, but O.
Okay.
My Twitter or X, now that we call it X, is Kevo the Artist.
Mm-hmm.
And my website is artbykevo.com. So
Okay.
everything pretty much has Kevo in it, Kevo Artist in it,
Okay. Great, right. Yeah, I'll post those all in the show notes and direct
Yeah, I
people there.
appreciate
And,
it.
I'm glad that we were able to connect and, I'm able to share a little bit about your background and how you're giving to others through your teaching and through your play and the soon to be play that's streaming on one of the streaming services
Yeah,
in the
I
new
know,
year.
right?
Well, thanks so much for being my guest on the Out of the Trenches podcast today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.